Welcome to another installment of 5-Minute Tones. On today's video, I want to dial in the Euro Red model on the Axe FX3 based on the red channel of a Bogner Ecstasy. The Bogner Ecstasy is kind of mythical, legendary beast, definitely one of the most revered and desirable modern high-gain amplifiers. Famous users include players like Steve Vai and Steve Lukather, so you can kind of guess what I'm going to go for with this type of amp model. I want a big, thick, hairy, modified Marshall style tone in here. Let's start with the Euro Red model at stock settings. My go-to cabinet IR over here, LTTV Mix 7. You can see the preamp tab. I've got a low cut at 80 Hertz and a high cut at 8K. And my favorite little reverb in here, the London plate with 1.5 seconds of time and the mix at 12%. Let's hear this with my Hamer Standard. It's got a Duncan 78 in the bridge and a Jazz in the neck. Let's go. You can immediately hear that that's pretty dark sounding and pretty smooth compared to your typical modded Marshall tone that I think most people would think of. A real-world Bogner kind of achieves that by a bunch of different methods. One of them is having a very different taper on the treble pot. So having the treble at 5 on a Bogner is more like having the treble, I don't know, around 1 or 2 on a Marshall. Those aren't exact figures, but what I like to do with the Euro Red or the Euro Blue or the Euro Uber model in here is start like this. I like to turn the presence all the way down and the treble all the way up as a starting point. Let's hear that now. That is awesome. It's got that fuzzy, fizzy hair thing that isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's going to help you really kind of slice through a mix. What you can do from there is use the presence control to add kind of even more of that 80s style hair in there. But I'm not going to do that because I kind of like where this is set at the moment. Believe it or not, this as a starting point probably has too much gain for what I'm going for. So I'm going to bring the gain control down a little bit. And I'm actually going to bring out a little bit of mid-range and boost up a little bit of bass on here. Let's have a listen to that. I'm going for a kind of chunky rhythm tone now. Still got plenty of mid-range presence in there, still got plenty of hair. It's just a little less congested sounding. One thing you can play around with if you were going for a really modern high gain sound is to bring the master volume down to around 2, bring the level up to compensate for that. Let's have a listen to that. You could then engage the bright cap if you want a little bit more sizzle on there. Or alternatively, you could engage a boost in the preamp tab. Let's go for the CC boost. That's kind of my go-to. You'll hear it without the boost and then with it. Personally, I kind of like it with the master volume a little bit higher on there. It just smooths things out that little bit more. It's just got a little bit more character and attitude for what I like. I'm going to leave the boost on in here and let you hear this with the master volume at 4, then we're going to hear the Euro Red Modern model, which is based off a more recent production Bogner Ecstasy, at exactly the same settings so that we can compare and contrast between them, and it might help you pick whichever one of these amps you want to use as a starting point to craft your own tone. Modern version is a little bit more saturated to my ears. The red version here, just a standard one, it's a little bit more open sounding. I really like it with the boost. What I'm going to do to this and to play you all out with is I'm going to add a pitch block after this, set to the dual detune delay type. I've got 400 milliseconds of delay on each voice, but a little bit of detune. So plus 9 cents on one side, minus 9 cents on the other side. I'm using a bunch of cross feedback so the detuners feed into one another. It's really great variation on a delay block style thing. Still rolling with the standard Euro Red. I love this as a lead tone. Let me know your thoughts on the Euro Red in the video description, and let me know if you've got any requests for future 5-minute tones videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.